Well, everything looks the same in here. Poor old Murray's jacked up on a hoist. On the jack stand, I guess. What I'm gonna do today, or right here at the moment, I'm gonna take this transmission, put some bolts in it, and probably that's about it for now. Because this one here, the case needs to be cleaned. I don't have a pressure washer that works right now, so that's the only thing. I don't know if anybody knows anything about it, but this is a tack or a dash out of a Ranger. This tachometer here will not work. I have given it the signal wire, power, and ground, and it does not function. It's poor lighting, I know, but like there's nothing that looks like it's burnt out, no capacitors or anything that look like they're burnt out or broke, so I can't understand why it doesn't work. And there's the post there, and I'll read them off. One's the signal, the center one. Then that one over there is a ground. This guy up there is power, that top one. And then this one back here is 8CYL. Yeah, 8CYL. So what does that mean? 8 cylinders? So I don't understand what you're supposed to do with that terminal. I've tried putting it to power and ground and it didn't do anything. So I don't know what's wrong with it. All the other gauges work, because if I could get this tack to work, this dash would be going in my Ranger. See, everything spins nice. It's like, what? This guy here, I have the connection for that. So I'd actually have a working speedometer in the truck. That would be awesome. Then the fuel gauge, I know it works. Temperature gauge, it actually popped up a little bit. So I was like, sweet. Oil pressure, it goes from low and right about in the middle. So I know it works. And the battery, well, it obviously would work if it was hooked up. I never tried that one. But anyway, I wonder if you can roll back the kilometers. Probably could somehow. Anyway, not worried about that. Any ideas on this guy, though? I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, that's besides the point. Main thing here is getting this rear end, all the bolts in it, because I'm trading that one for the bigger Peerless. Okay, here's all the insides of it. And there's one clean half case, well, pretty clean. There's the other one. So, plan is, I'm going to take and drop all these gears down in. I'm going to take and put a few little globs of new grease on them. And then I'm going to put seal all around everything. And put her back together. Fill her up with grease, or not grease, gear oil. I got some 85, or 80, 90 I guess it is there. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, some things to look out for. These guys, hold on here, can't see a thing. Alright, some things to look out for. These guys move. They need to be pushed in tight, and they also have grooves in them. It's longer on the top, and then there's an indent, and it's shorter on the bottom, and you have to put it like that so that it sits down inside of there. And then it'll spin freely. But you can see it's hitting against the two little tic-tics. Right there. It's like a half moon. So make sure you get that in right, because if you don't, I imagine that'll cause some serious problems. You can see that one's right there. Alright, gonna keep going at her. Alright, here it is just before I close it up. Just got some globs of grease in a few places. Got lots of silicone all the way around it. And pretty well used most of it up too, which sucks. Shit's expensive. But it's time to put that case back on. Look at that beautiful mess. Alright, I'm gonna close her out. There she is. The only thing left to do is wait a little bit and wait for this to sort of get sticky or tacky, and then I can just crank the bolts right down, and that's it. Everything's turning nice, shift's good. And there's my fill hole right there to put some oil in it. So, looking pretty good. I'm happy with how it turned out so far. So there she is, Peerless 820. Now the only thing that's going to be a problem, which there is going to be some problems, getting the shifter and everything. One, completely unrelated to that, I need a new belt. This one's getting sort of chewed up. So I need a new belt and pulley for the rear. And that's going to put me on hold until I get paid. So anyway. So in order to get the shifter to work, I have a 5-speed, or I did have a 5-speed. Well, now it's going to be 6-speed, so I got to try and calibrate this shifter to be able to be in neutral here, reverse there somewhere, and then I'm hoping that there's 5th. Well, I'm hoping that when it goes into that spot, that will actually reach 6th gear. I'm going to try and make it do that because it would save me cutting up my fender. So that's what the trial is going to be here, trying to get that to work. So hopefully it does. But then when you come over to the transmission, there's another problem. This here gizmo, this here linkage sat about up there on a Peerless 205 because I had an extra long shifter shaft. It sat probably up about like that, a couple inches higher, and so it would be sitting right way up high. So what I'm going to have to do is probably what I'm thinking. I don't know. Well, I have 2 things that I was thinking. One was either take a pipe like this, slide it over that, and just get over the top of it and weld it all the way around, and then get myself another one of these pieces, like shifter pieces with the square and everything. Who knows, I might have one in there, I might have one out in the shed. And then just slide it down in the top part of the pipe and weld it around, and then I could have it extend it without tampering with this too much. And if I ever had to pull the transmission, then I can still unbolt it because this here will be bolted onto the top of one of these things. So I can still pop it off. And that was my idea. However, I might just take one of these and get one about that long, maybe a couple inches. I gotta measure and see how long it has to be, but just weld it all the way around the solid piece. So it's really whatever I can find, and I don't know which would be stronger, the hollow pipe weld it to the solid piece, or just welding the solid piece to that. So we'll see what I can come up with. But anyway, that's one problem. The next problem is going to be this, because my input pulley here is a lot lower. Because on the Peerless, that wasn't that, the shaft was probably 2 inches longer, maybe an inch longer, probably actually. So the pulley sat up a little bit higher. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that, but I was thinking probably just get a pulley and offset it a little bit from the hub, slide it on as far as I can, and then I don't know, I was thinking maybe put washers underneath of it. I still want to make sure that I'm getting most of the keyway in the pulley though, because I'll end up shearing the keyway if I don't. But I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out something. It's only a couple of inches or something that I gotta displace it, so it shouldn't be too bad. But honestly, it's probably going to be harder than you think, because it always is. So the other thing is going to be making these mounts. I don't know if they'll work the way they are with the stock ones or not, but that'll work out. These guys are the same, so that'll just bolt right on. Anyway, that is that. And then I got to weld the hubs up for it to be able to run my stock tires. Anyway, guys, that's as far as we were going today, so have a good one.